Hi, this is a news update. First of all, thanks to the patrons who support me on Patreon and to those who support me on PayPal as well. It's support like that keeps this channel going. If you want to show your support, if you're able to, the addresses are patreon.com/faceandlms, paypal.me/faceandlms, and now gofundme.com/faceandlms. You may have noticed that my last Discord account and server got banned. That was because they got false flagged. I will be opening a new Face Lounge Discord server that will be open only to patrons, and so that should disincentivize trolling and false flagging. Onto the main kind of news item that I wanted to talk about here. There are various issues with a black pill channel like this one, which is based on statistics, facts, uncomfortable truths, and scientific studies, that kind of thing, rather than it being based on all-inclusiveness, equality, and having a utopian outlook. And so the channel's nature and it being hosted on a platform that is left-wing, it's going to upset the left, it's going to upset the whammons, it's going to upset the boys of soy and blue-pilled people in general. You may have noticed that videos on my channel get uploaded, then they disappear, then they maybe come back, maybe they're re-uploads, maybe they're a bit more censored, they go away again, then they come back even more censored. That's the nature of the beast. It was hell to get WAR 3 past YouTube censors, the algorithm, its automatic censors. I finally got the whole video passed, but then some viewer found it offensive to their feels and they flagged it. I'm quite limited in what I can do to get around the issue. So you're going to see various crazy, strange things happening. So you may see an entire WAR video uploaded with comments disabled, or you may see a WAR video uploaded into 3 separate parts, and then maybe one of the parts disappears and then comes back because maybe that part gets flagged, and then I know exactly which part to censor even more rather than taking down the whole video. You may see various combinations of those things: comments disabled, parts going missing, whole videos going missing then coming back. And that's just because that's the only way I can keep bringing videos to you on this platform. It's going to be a game of whack-a-mole because the truth is offensive and people don't think that you can handle it, and indeed some people can't. And that's not because, and just note that I'm not whenever you see me disable comments, it's not because I'm afraid of conversation and debate. It's precisely the opposite. It's because the people who disagree with my videos are afraid of conversation and debate. And so I don't want to risk them being triggered by the comments, which are, it seems to me that, well, this is just a hypothesis. People who on the outside, blue-pilled people who watch my videos, see that the content is fact-based. You can't deny it. Maybe you may have some reservations about how severe the extent to which I'm discussing the things are true, but the fact, it is fact-based. And so people may be watching the video and then they see the comments and then they think, wow, the comments are really hostile. Maybe the video is radicalizing men. So maybe that's what may be causing the flagging. So that's why I'm going to test out the disabling of comments. So you'll see like I said, you're going to see various weird combinations. You may see a video uploaded 3 separate times, 3 separate instances, 4 separate instances of an upload, whatever. And I know I'm going to get it. Someone's going to say, just upload your videos to BitChute, bro. Whoever suggests that, obviously isn't a content creator, obviously doesn't make videos to be digested by as many people as possible. If I were to upload my videos to BitChute, they would get maybe 5% of the views that they would get on YouTube at best. A lot of people stumble onto my videos on YouTube and most of them aren't subscribers. How am I going to direct them to BitChute and get even close to the same amount of exposure? It's just not going to happen. An analogy of YouTube to BitChute is opening a McDonald's franchise on a busy high street. That's YouTube. Versus cooking a hamburger in your kitchen and trying to give that hamburger away on your street. Here's a question I think I need to answer. Why do I care about my video's exposure? Surely just having some views is good. Surely just having some views is good, right? Well, no. I think it's unfair that some people can use their biology above their belly and near their thighs to attract an audience, while I have to rely on skill, learning, talent, hard work, research. I think you know what I mean. You have to understand the momentum that comes from being a content creator. That sounds so pretentious. From making videos, you have to understand the momentum. You make a video because you want to spread a message. Then your message is received positively by people, and there is a demand for your message, which makes you want to work harder to spread that message, or to work harder to make more content. That wouldn't happen on BitChute because there are no viewers. YouTube has billions of viewers. Another thing that you have to understand is that there is a cost to making videos, be it the cost of a new microphone up to £100, $150, a faster internet connection so you can upload videos at high speed or live stream, the cost of backup software and hardware, the cost of leaving your PC on so that file transfers can occur, the cost of not going to the gym, and various other opportunity costs, financial costs, that kind of thing. It would be a waste of invested time and money to make videos strictly for BitChute. Let me just show you the effort. I'm going to try and do this as quickly as possible. I'm going to try and show you the effort that goes into making a video, and then you'll see why I want to remain on YouTube. Bear in mind, the process of video editing that I'm going to show you shortly is, number one, it's a vast simplification. Number two, this is after I've written the script as a draft, after I've gathered sources such as scientific studies, after I've gathered picture and video footage, after I've converted them to the right video format, MPEG 2 versus MP4 versus AVI, that kind of thing. When I create videos, I do a first pass and a second pass. The first pass is where I gather the sources, so the pictures and videos, and put them where I think they need to be. So this is the first pass. So in a new file, let's create video track 1, video track 2, another video track 3, and then 2 audio tracks we'll create. So let's grab this picture of girl 1 and drag it in to the sequencer. I'll put girl 1 on track 1. Now, most pictures I happen upon don't fit the 16:9 widescreen video frame. Notice the black strips on the side, on the left and the right. So I need to use techniques to make this picture fit the widescreen frame. In the case of girl 1, I can crop the bottom out of this picture because there isn't much valuable picture information at the bottom of that picture. So I crop that out of view, and it fits. Now let's grab girl 2. This picture also doesn't fit the 16:9 widescreen frame. I'll drag this to track 1. Let's try to use the cropping technique from before to get rid of the black strips on this picture. Now So let's crop the bottom out. Now you'll see we lose valuable picture information by applying that last technique, cropping, to this picture. It's not one size fits all. We lose her lower jaw and chin, essential information usually to what I'm trying to describe in like a WAV video. So we should keep it at its original size or smaller. So how do we fill the frame while keeping all of the picture information visible? Let's use layering. So we'll grab a second copy of that girl 2, and what we can do is use cropping and apply cropping to the background copy of that picture, girl 2. So you'll notice that her nose and mouth are sticking out on the right hand side, and her hair looks disjointed on the left hand side. So what we can do is apply a blur to the background copy, and so that it just looks less uncanny valley. Using this layering technique allows us to achieve 3 goals: fill the frame, show all of her skull all at once, and show a consistent color scheme. The foreground and background match. Now that's all good until I need to use all 3 tracks all at once at some point. I could add another video track, but at some point I will run out of tracks and need to reuse the same one multiple times. So if we use 3 separate pictures of Leonardo DiCaprio to illustrate this next point, so we drag a picture of Leo onto track 1, another onto track 2, and another onto track 3. If we want these pictures of Leonardo to be next to each other, we need to create a keyframe to indicate where in the video frame we want each picture to sit. So if we move this picture of Leonardo on channel 1, we move it 550 pixels to the left, we see that the picture of Leo on channel 1 or track 1 has moved to the left. And let's create another keyframe to indicate that we want Leo on track 3 to be moved 550 pixels to the right. So keyframes are how you indicate where you want a picture to sit, and they do other things as well. But if you notice on track 1, because we created a keyframe to move the picture of Leo 550 pixels to the left, we've also affected pictures before that point and pictures after that point if there were some. So girl 2 has moved somewhat to the left, and so has girl 1. So what we have to do is make a little space between the pictures so that the keyframes don't bleed into each other. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to state that we're going to give each picture a starting keyframe and ending keyframe. That way we know where a picture will start, or its position, its starting position, and we know its ending position, and things that happen before it or after it won't move it around unpredictably. So let's create keyframes for each picture so we know where they will sit. So it's okay if 2 pictures would occupy or use the same keyframe settings. They can be right next to each other, but like the girl 1 and girl 2 on track 1, the keyframe for them, their X is at 0, so we can have them right next to each other. But we had to leave a gap between girl 2 and Leo on track 1, because Leo on track 1, that picture is 550 pixels moved to the left. So that keyframe we don't want to have 2 keyframes bleeding into each other because it causes issues. Right, let's create a keyframe to pan down this girl's face, because another thing about pictures is you don't want to have still pictures that don't have any movement, because it looks kind of boring and still. So we'll create a keyframe at the end of this picture so that it pans down her face. And then we could do the same, well, we can do the same for the background copy of girl 2, because we don't want to pan down the picture of girl 2. We don't want to pan down the foreground picture, because we would lose picture information. So let's make the background copy pan down her face, because that's not so important. So the blurred background copy, we create a keyframe and then we pan down her face. So we got some movement going on. And then girl 2, we have a black gap there because we don't want two keyframes next to each other directly. And then we have Leo. And just to show you how video footage works, it's sort of a similar kind of thing. Let's grab some video footage. So we drag some video footage of a woman, and we could, because the third track has a keyframe that's 550 to the right, 550 pixels to the right, like that. We're gonna have to leave a gap and create another keyframe to indicate that we don't want this video footage to be 550 pixels to the right. We want it to be central at 0. We want its X position to be 0. So we have to create a keyframe slightly away from the end point of the Leo picture, and so we've got it central. But we could just move it to a track where some of the keyframes are central, so that's not necessary. But so here we don't actually need a gap between Leo on track 3 and this video of this woman on track 3. If we have her on track 2, then we don't need a gap. But let's just roll with it for now. And so this is a first pass. And so let's say we've got 15 seconds of video there, and we'll export that. But typically, if you know my videos, there would be 25 minutes worth of video to export in this first pass. And you can see how much of an involved process it is. So we export this first pass. Now, note that we're only exporting 15 seconds of video. With all this effort, and it's only been 15 seconds. Now, it takes about a minute to export 15 seconds worth of video. So you can imagine how long it takes to export 25 minutes of video. Now, I'm going to cut this short because I don't want to bore you. Right, so we're in our new file, a second pass, and what we'll do is drag the exported first pass into this second pass video. And so we have the video. It's easier to work with, it's encapsulated. And what we can do, this is the second pass, is where I will add music, add title screens, add my voiceover. So that's the video. We've got that black gap between girl 2 and Leo, and we've got another black gap between that thought. So if we want to say, yeah, so if we want to get rid of that black gap, we just crop it out, or we just cut it out by cutting the video and just moving the video pieces accordingly. If we want to say, if I've read my script over and think that Leo should be first, what I could do is move Leo to the beginning of the video, and note that by having this second pass, I don't have to move all the keyframes. Remember, Leo was on across track 1, track 2, track 3. If I decide I want to change the order of where he appears in the video, it's easier to do in the second pass because I've encapsulated all that information from the first pass, and I don't have the keyframe issues. Also, notice that I've dragged the Leo footage. I've made it longer. That's in case something that I need to say takes longer to say than I thought it would. So yes, something. And so let's add some text. This is not exactly how I would add text, but you get the idea. So I'd add some text there for title screens. Now I could make the footage with Leo longer in the first pass, which we've gone back to here, but then it's a case of making sure the keyframes are moved in accordance. And yeah, sometimes it's necessary to do it that way around, but it's easier to do in the second pass. That's a vast oversimplification of what it's like to create videos. And now I hope you can see why I wouldn't do this just for BitChute for like 100 viewers. It would be pointless. So I need to toe the party line with YouTube and just obey their rules and try and make my content as YouTube friendly as possible. So here are some changes that I'll be implementing. The new Face Lounge Discord server only open to patrons. You may see a WAR video uploaded into 3 separate segments or more, maybe with comments disabled, so that I can see which is the offending segment. At least it allows me to narrow down which may be an offending part of the video. I'm sure you've noticed me using euphemisms like snuggle and snoo. You'll hear more of that because that's just the nature of the beast. That's just how things are on YouTube these days. If you want YouTube to suggest your content to the masses, your content has to be advertiser friendly. You have to censor yourself. So that's just the nature. That's just how it is. I'm grateful to everyone who supports my channel with Patreon and PayPal donations, but if you can't support in that way, you can do it. You don't have to support financially. You can just share my videos, and which racks up views, which makes YouTube see that my videos are, which makes YouTube see that there is a demand for my videos, and then they'll promote my videos. They may be slightly looser in their enforcement of the rules if they can see that there is a demand for content that I provide, and that them being overly heavy-handed restricts the amount of views and the ad revenue, and I have to help them to help me, kind of thing. I should be doing a live stream on the 8th of December on somebody else's channel, and when I get more information about that, I'll post that here. And I should be doing a live stream on my own channel around Christmas. So anyway, thanks for watching.